This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradley above at the top of the screen and everything that we're talking about here today. Let's go ahead and do the numbers. This morning, the numbers are brought to you by I Trust Capital, the best place to get a crypto IRA. If you haven't done so, call and talk to Blake Scadron and anybody there. Really great group of people offering crypto IRAs at a better rate than you can get anywhere else on the planet. And now offering gold IRAs too, $50 over spot. Pretty amazing. So make sure you reach out to them. Okay, so let's get into this. Bitcoin, $11,616.91. Ethereum is $395.76. And XRP current price is 28 cents. Let's drill down on the XRP numbers. Right now, we are looking at 0.2855 for XRP. It is at 1.8 billion 24-hour volume. We're down about 1.7%. The total circulating supply is 44 billion 942 million plus, and the market cap is sitting at 12 billion 8 right now. Those are your numbers. Okay, so what we're going to get into today is we're going to talk about stable coins, CBDCs. We're going to talk about executive order from the president. We're going to talk about how Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse has met with with this administration earlier, a couple years earlier, and about, I believe we can point to the catalyst for all of the development of everything that's happening here in the States, as well as what's taking place globally. And it's not a mistake. Let's go ahead and get into this. Oh, and by the way, we're also going to talk about the expected price spike of XRP that's being called for. So let's check that out. Let's get into this. All right, guys, you can follow me on Twitter right here, Digital Perspectives at BackupBradley. And the first thing I wanted to mention is a shout out to Curious Wang and the whole team at BitTrue. They're always leading with their ambition. They're always launching they are launching a new token for DeFi loans, airdrops to BTR token holders coming this week. Don't miss it. And I'll tell you something, Curious Wang and his team have literally been on the cutting edge. I have loved them since day one because they built their business model with XRP as their base currency. How can you not love them? So make sure you check those guys out. Really love what they're doing there. Shout out to all of them. Very excited to hear what they do. So MoneyGram inks a new strategic partnership for mobile wallet expansion in Africa. With 4 mobile wallet and fintech partnerships, MoneyGram International now has access to mobile wallets in 28 African markets. I tell you what, that is expansion we want to see right there, and I just love seeing it. So, okay, you guys know the Ripple MoneyGram partnership, and then there's the whole litmus test for the world to see how well XRP can be used. All right, so you get the idea. This is just wonderful to see it continue to expand. I want to thank Michael Val 5 Links for this, DJ Peter Vass, and XRP Crypto Wolf, and Mac Attack XRP for some of the news that was sent today. So let's go ahead and keep this thing moving. Now, records reveal Ripple CEO met with senior Trump administration official in 2018. Was XRP on the agenda? Well, interestingly enough, this is the executive order from 2017 that came out. Executive Order 13772, Core Principles for Regulating the United States Financial System. I don't know if it gets any more clear than that. And it cites specifically tasks for the United States Department of Treasury to review Financial Stability Oversight Council. Now, where have we heard that before? Oh, that's right, FSOC, which is the regulatory body that can actually come in and deem something systemically important as a financial market utility. Yeah, this, I believe, really does point to the whole idea and understanding of where the initiative is coming from domestically here in the States. It's this executive order for core principles for regulating the United States federal or financial system. And this is a document that shows Ripple listed in R3 and MoneyGram on a different page, as well as TransUnion, U.S. Bancorp, Vanguard, Visa, Western Union, WorldPay, and as I said, MoneyGram, PayPal, the Clearinghouse, you name it. Square, it's all here. Stripe, they're all there. So it's no mistake that that's where we're at here. Now, the interesting thing enough is that when you go into this, and I will open this article here really quickly here, and it does drill down on the fact that the documents from the U.S. Office of Management and Budget show Ripple's Brad Garlinghouse met with Special Assistant to President Caroline Moore on September 26th and October 3rd. Back in 2018, the documents were unearthed by XRP enthusiast investor Stephen Deep. Thank you, Stephen. Both meetings appear to have lasted for a better part of the day. In addition to Special Assistant to the President Moore, is also Director of Office of the Chief of Staff, according to ProPublica. So there you have it. This was commented on much more loosely by Corey Johnson and not as definitive a way back when Corey Johnson was actually at Ripple. So that's just a highlight of we're getting a little more information about what took place back at that time. So again, Ripple cited the executive order as well as other things. And then when you come to the OCC and Brian Brooks and what they have been doing there, and giving the permission for federally chartered banks to custody crypto assets. For the first time, banks can hold digital assets on their balance sheet. I believe it all stems from the efforts of this executive order right here. This is the framework, if you will, or the outline of what needs to take place in core principles for regulating the United States financial system, which is a call to action for the OCC to make the adjustments for the new payment companies and the new payment rails and the new technology that's out here in order to accommodate encompassing all of these things from the PayPals to the Ripples of the world underneath the umbrella of the regulatory framework of the OCC and the other necessary regulatory agencies. Okay. Then we move to central bank digital currencies, and look at what we see happening here. Boston Fed is looking at 30 to 40 blockchain networks for digital dollar experiments. You don't say. Yeah, because it all comes back to this, an executive order. Listen, I'm not here because of politics. I'm here because I want to make money, and I don't care who it is. I just want to make sure they continue to get the job done. That's all I can tell you. And what I see is exactly that. And now we're going to step out not only from the CBDC exploration that's taking place with the Boston Fed and everything we know here with Chris Giancarlo and the crew over there at the Digital Dollar Project, but we are going to go ahead now and step out and broaden that perspective a little bit. Public interest in central bank digital currencies surpasses Bitcoin in 2020. This is interesting to me because I feel like this is the big play to encourage people. Cryptocurrencies, they can be scary and unsafe and risky investments. You can get into this digital game. Just get yourself a CBDC or a digital dollar, right? And it's just interesting to me because, I always feel like that's the narrative to the masses that really don't understand what's really happening here. And they'll recognize, oh, okay, well, I can get a digital dollar and my money will be safe there. But not financial advice, but if you want to make any money in here, it's not by owning a digital dollar. So there's the narrative to me that just keeps some people kind of tamped down when it comes to the digital world, because it's a little tricky for people who aren't speculators. They don't know what to make of all of this. However, the world does as a whole, because China CBDC trial focused on retail transactions. China's central bank has stated that the trial of its developing central bank digital currency CBDC is currently limited to retail transactions. as against claims stating that the digital yuan is used for large transactions. So here you go. Some people believe that the CBDCs would be back end. Some people believe there'll be a digital dollar. There are a couple different ideas about how to implement, a digital dollar that could work for everyone, or a CBDC that would be internal, and then a digital dollar released to the public. There's many different ideas out here about what's the best way to release a stable coin, basically. So now let's go ahead and keep this thing moving here, because I want to show you this also. Central banks are into digital currencies more than ever. Sentiment analysis on CBDCs suggests that central banks are becoming more open to minting their own currencies. You don't say. A slew of projects back up that assessment. Oh, yeah, and that's because of the policy toolmaker kit that came out in January of this year, which Brad Garlinghouse attended the World Economic Forum where this was released, and then shortly after that appeared on Julia Chatterley's show, where she looked at him like the cat that ate the canary, because she understands what's at play here and why he was at Davos, I believe, as well. Here we see a reminder where it's highlighted XRP right here for crypto assets designed for inter or intra bank payments and settlement. Inter or intra payments and settlements. Does that sound like haircuts and sneakers to you? I'm not saying you can't use it for that. I'm just telling you that's not how the World Economic Forum sees the use of XRP. They see it as designed for inter and intra-bank payments and settlement. You might be wise to start thinking that way too. Okay, so now, when you see all of this effort from different China, and Boston is now exploring all of this with CBDCs, is this by accident? You think that this just came about like, oh, well, I heard Belgium's looking into it, so maybe we should start checking it out too. This stuff comes from somewhere. Just like the OCC's actions, I believe, come absolutely off of the executive order. I also believe that what is happening globally with the central banks is from a larger narrative that has been created from larger international bodies, regulatory agencies, and collectives and coalitions, just like the Financial Stability Board, which put out this PDF back in April of 2020 about global stable coins, and then discussed everything from global stable coins to every kind of stable coin that exists in the world today. Yep, this whole entire narrative comes from somewhere. The Financial Stability Board connected to the G20. That's right, the knee bone's connected to the leg bone. All of this stuff, to me, is clear to see that it's coming from the top down, from the international bodies to us showing you now that the executive order, which I believe is the catalyst for all of this domestically in the States. Okay, and remember when the FATF came out about the deadline to be in KYC, AML, CFT compliance. Within 24 or 48 hours of that international recommendation and guideline that came out from the FATF connected to the G20, the United States endorsed that. Steve Mnuchin, U.S. Treasury Secretary, came out and endorsed that within 24 or 48 hours after it was put out. That's the kind of coordination that's taking place here. Now, let's talk about some rallies in price and bullish divergence. Let's talk about that, because that's exciting and I want to see it happen myself. XRP's daily active addresses on the rise despite rally hitting a pause button, and basically they're seeing more addresses added to the XRP ledger of people owning XRP despite the stall in the price. So it shows here the numbers of the XRP addresses recently climbed to a 7-day high of 9,499 August 24th. despite the coin retracing 9.2% over the past week. And then it says here, XRP registered highest number, 70,944 since its creation February 13th. For comparisons, the cryptocurrency only had 50,583 active wallets when it hit its lifetime peak of 311 December 28th, 2017. Pretty remarkable information. Then it says here, Bitcoin and Ethereum leave XRP in the dust. Well, yeah, no wonder. They've gotten a classification. We haven't. Yeah, not exactly rocket science. And I don't think it's an accident that we haven't either. And the day that we're supposed to get it, we'll get it. And then it'll be a different conversation. And the title of that article will look a lot different as well. All right, so now here we have it. Bitcoin rich list reaches all-time high. Check this out. There are more than 2,000 addresses holding over 1,000 Bitcoin, potentially reflecting increased interest from institutions and high net worth investors. You don't say. This is bullish all the way around from Bitcoin to XRP. And it feels like it's just a matter of time before this opens up, because that's exactly right. You're not a regular speculator, retail investor if you're holding more than 1,000 Bitcoin. And if you are, good on you. I wish I could say the same. But anyway, I come from a musician background. I'm sure we've all heard the jokes, right? What's the difference between a musician and a large pizza? A large pizza can feed a family of 4. There you go. All right. So to close things out, top analysts say XRP preparing for massive moves as Bitcoin begins to grind to 14,000. Go Bitcoin. And then it says the pseudonymous analyst and trader known in the industry as Credible Crypto says Ripple's native token XRP is positioning to ignite a massive move up. In a new video, the analyst said that the bear market bottom is already in for the third largest cryptocurrency, and he expects the XRP bulls to start flexing their muscle, calling for a 40-cent marker. And then once it hits that, it may correct, retest, and eventually pushing again, hitting 67-cent range. And that's pretty exciting. Now, he does say that he also uses the Elliott wave theory. We'll keep an eye on that. But I'll tell you something, seeing the addresses come up despite the pullback in the price, understanding that Bitcoin is prepared for a surge, seeing institutional investors moving into Bitcoin, knowing Bitcoin still clearly has dominance over all the altcoins, including XRP at this time, it is pretty exciting to see what happens in the next coming weeks. So, okay, before I get out of here, I want to remind you guys, thank you all for the comments and the wonderful comments, and I'm glad you're enjoying the content in the monthly newsletter that just came out. There were a couple people said they didn't receive it. I do want to remind you that look at the link very carefully. It says free monthly newsletter. There is an educational course link, and then there's the link to join the Rich List newsletter, which is just below that. Make sure that you are signed up and click on the link for the newsletter and not the educational course, unless that's something you do want. And before I leave, I want to remind you guys, there's many different layers to protection. Pure VPN is one of those layers that I use. 7-day trial for only 99 cents. I have a link in the description and the pinned comment at the top of every comment box. It makes me feel so good to know that I help protect my anonymity as one of those layers of protection. So make sure you check that out. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I will catch all of you on the next one.